Now, this is an article that I just stumbled upon. U.S. Institute of Peace sues to block DOGE takeover by force. This is just something that reminds me of all the waste, fraud, and corruption that goes on within the government. I'm going to read some of this right quick, give y'all my quick thoughts. This is something I stumbled upon. Where we at? A federal judge set an emergency hearing after law enforcement helped DOGE enter and take over an independent nonprofit established under President Reagan. Okay, the United States Institute of Peace, USIP, an independent nonprofit established by Congress 40 years ago, is asking a federal judge to immediately block the Department of Government Efficiency attempted forced shutdown of the organization after what its lawsuit portrayed as a takeover by force of their headquarters building that took place with the assistance of the Justice Department and local DC police. There's a lot of this resistance to DOGE trying to get to the root of the books where money is being spent, and a lot of these nonprofits are wishy-washy at best. And since these nonprofits and these government agencies that deal with taxpayer money, I for one, would like to see, okay, you guys don't want us to see any of that. Oh, okay. Well, a law should be passed. However the proper channels go. From now on, you won't get any money from the people unless the people know what you're doing with that money and where the money is coming from. That way, these nonprofits and these government agencies that want to hide, DOGE is trying to trim the fat. President Trump and Elon Musk are trying to trim the fat, trying to find all the government corruption, the unnecessary spending of taxpayer dollars. If they want to hide and not be transparent what they're doing with the money, then we should stop sending them money. The people should be able to keep their money then. So either you're going to be transparent and tell everybody where it's going, or you won't get any more. I think we should start doing that. That's what this article, initially reading the first part of this article and what's going on, when I initially came across this is the first thought that came in my mind. Okay, you want to keep it, it's such a big secret. Taxpayers don't deserve to know. Okay, well, you don't deserve taxpayer money anymore. How about that? I think we should start attacking it from that aspect. And I'm pretty sure the American people would agree with me on that. Jump in the comment section below and let me know what you think, because there's a whole lot of secrecy going on to where our tax dollars is going. And for the longest time, for decades, we've always had these questions and concerns, but they always fell on deaf ears. Nobody wanted to listen. There were always misdirections, and let's distract the American people so they won't ask these questions, so they won't make these demands. So we would never have to address this question that, let's be honest, the American people, we've always had these concerns and questions. Like, geez, there's more taxes. Everything's getting high. The cost of living is getting higher. My money's going out. I don't see where it's going. It's not, when I get my paycheck, the money's already gone. I have no say-so who it goes to, what it's for, if it's even necessary to come out of my check to begin with. And I have to decide, okay, how am I going to pay this? How am I going to do that? All these unnecessary maneuvers that the people have to handle their own personal business. And it's starting to seem like we've always been put in a situation where it seems like unnecessary financial strife. We got to figure these things out, only to find out the more the DOGE uncovers, it's like, hold up. You mean I've been going through these have a problem with that? We want to know what's going on. And if our money is being wasted, that means there was no difference in our money going out unnecessarily and us keeping our money in our pockets. So if that's the case, then we want our money in our pockets versus these nonprofits that are so secretive as far as where the money is going. I tell you what, let us keep our money and let these nonprofits either be transparent and truthful, or maybe they should be eliminated altogether. Let's continue. I'm going to leave a link to this article in the description box down below. You guys can read it in its totality on your own, but we're going to read a little bit more of it right here because I'm very skeptical and a little bit triggered. I'm sure you can hear it in my voice. Oh, yeah. Where was I at? I went out on a tangent. I know. The lawsuit, which was brought by the Institute of Peace and member of the board and names assistant to the administrator for management and resources for USAID, Kenneth Jackson, DOGE, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and President Donald Trump, among others, contends that the Trump administration attempted to unlawfully fire USIP President George Moose after moving to fire board members and replace them with Rubio, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, and Vice Admiral Peter A. Garvin. The suit says that the attacks culminated in the literal trespass and takeover by force by defendants, including representatives of the Institute's headquarters building on Constitution Avenue. The government responded in a filing of its own on Wednesday. The government believes it has acted in accordance with all laws and that plaintiffs' request for a temporary restraining order is unsupportable, the brief reads, citing the legislation signed by President Ronald Reagan that created the Institute for Peace. When President Reagan signed the Defense Authorization Act of 1985, when created the Institute, he included a signing statement noting the act establishes the United States Institute of Peace. I have been advised by the Attorney General that Section 1706F relating to the president's power to remove members of the board of directors of the Institute is neither intended to nor has the effect of restricting the president's constitutional power to remove those officers. I have always been leery of all these nonprofits. You look at BLM, who's also a nonprofit, and you see how that grift has turned out. Where did they learn that grift from? Nonprofits that predated them. Whole lot of grifting being going on with our tax-paying dollars. And it's starting to look like, you know what? The money that we work hard for that has just been wasted because of government fraud and corruption, and a lot of these non-exempt, these tax-paying fraud havens, come to find out we've been getting robbed. So since they don't want to, reveal what they're doing with the money, I say the people should, from this point on, keep their money that they're working for. Maybe these organizations need to come out and be transparent, and maybe they need to interview. Maybe the people should decide if they want to donate money, and how much money are we willing to donate as citizens of this country. Maybe it should start in reverse from now on. These are just my quick thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Are we living in an era where the grift is over on all levels? You either be very detailed and transparent what you're doing with taxpayer dollars, or you won't get any. I'm at that point now, and I'm sure there's a lot of American people that agree with me at this point. So let me know what y'all think. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. This is Gen X Media 7, and this transmission is over.